Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review, episode 50. Yep, 50th episode for this review series. Yeah, even though I've not been working on this series for a year, I started doing this review series back in August. Yeah, and I think it was in August of last year when the first part of this, when it was known as under parts, and then it started with, I think it was episode 20 when it changed from part to episode. So yeah, it's gone for a while. This one, I'm just reviewing the 837 episode of the anime. Excuse me, the birth of Big Mom, the day Carmel vanished. Yep, that is the name of this episode. And no, there's not a new episode, new chapter manga. I checked. Even though that, here's kind of the weird thing. Since its last break, it didn't seem like it was that. Usually, it was after. Lately, it's after releasing 4 chapters that the series goes on a break. This break came after releasing 3 chapters. Yeah, so no new chapter this week. I thought there was one. I checked. There is not one. This episode is an adaptation of chapter 867. And it pretty much just adapts pretty much the entire chapter, minus the cover page. Yeah. And this episode is mostly a flashback episode. Yeah, it's a flashback episode. It's part 2 of Big Mom's backstory. Yeah, it picks up right where the last episode left off. Her on her one of her rampages because she wants this particular sweet, and the only way and of course she takes out one of the leaders of this village by picking him up by his beard and basically throwing him over her head and him landing on his head, breaking both horns on his helmet. Effectively later on killing him. Yeah, she indirectly killed the guy. And she didn't have her Devil power yet. Nope. And of course the fire wasn't put out, it was turned into a mini sun. Yeah, that's what Mother Carmel did with it, because if you watch this episode you're like, okay, why does Mother Carmel have the same power as Big Mom? Well, I've looked it up and I kind of remember this. You see, Big Mom actually inherited this power from Mother Carmel when Mother Carmel died. Yeah, when she died. Of course, I'll reveal in this episode that apparently for over 50 years, because I looked her up, her age, she's supposed to be in her 80s at this point. So she's been doing this since she was in her 30s, where she's been trafficking children. Yeah, Mother Carmel is a human trafficker. Though instead of selling these kids in slavery, she sells these kids into the military. And apparently she does the same thing for the Giants as well, because John Giant was sold was made to the first Navy soldier, first giant Navy soldier. Also, Harrigan does appear in this episode in the flashback in Elbath of all places, and eventually she stopped when she gets this sweet that she's craving for. Yeah, the same thing happened in present day as well, twice, where first she's had these particular sweets, she gets her hands on them, and the second time actually happened just as soon as this arc was wrapping up, is that she kept craving wedding cake, this giant cake, and excuse me, after Luffy and the Straw Hats destroyed her last cake, Sanji, Pudding, and trying to think, trying to remember what was and Lola's twin sister make a new wedding cake for her, and she eats it and she calms down. Oh yeah, in the episode before he shows the flashback, yeah, the present day stuff is only seen very little in this episode. Yeah, not the first time I've seen it where you have an episode mostly dedicated to flashback stuff. This is probably overall in the whole series, not many times this happened. This happened during Skypiea, Edo's Lobby. This also happened during Dressrosa of all things. And this even happened, explains something of Luffy's past during post-war. So, roughly, this is the 5th time this has happened over the course of the series where they actually have flashback episodes. Well, yes, they did have some during you can kind of count Alabasta basically was the first time they actually did this. But as for generally part of the story, they kind of been doing it since Skypiea, because I think a lot of the flashbacks that they did for for Alabasta was simply filler stuff that was not technically part of the canon of the manga. Here, yes. Oh yeah, and when she was revealed to be a human trafficker, she's meeting with one of the CP units. Which one? CP0. Yes, the same unit who briefly showed up in One Piece Gold, where a lot of members in that film were from CP9. These guys were not from that group at all. Of course, this is about roughly 60 years before the events of present day. Yeah, this is exactly 60 years, because Big Mom is 60 years old. So roughly 60 years of present day, we had another CP9 and the CP0 in the past. CP0 is a canon group per se. It's just that some people who later become members are not generally part of the canon of the series. And I think about 2 or 3 of the CP units, it stands for Central Pi. That's what CP stands for. They're the world government's intelligence group, and they're also known for changing the truth a lot of things. They did it for Alabasta when, even though Luffy was the one who took down Sir Crocodile, yeah, they credited Smoker as the one who took down Crocodile. Luckily enough that I don't remember the admiral's name, the blind admiral from Dressrosa, he actually fixed the problem. Even though the Navy was there, Navy did virtually nothing in that arc. At least they did a little bit in Alabasta. And yeah, the Admiral did something that was quite stupid in his part, but probably for quick justice on the part of Smoker, by giving Luffy the credit for taking down Doflamingo instead of, well, no, they didn't have a CP unit there. They didn't say exactly which one. Yeah, I think it could have been CP0. I don't know. They specifically didn't say who they are. The thing with the CP units is that they're wearing the all same like cloaks, and they all wore masks. Yeah. As for who the leader was, I have no idea. Yeah, and it's been a while since I've read these particular chapters, so forgive me for not remembering every single little detail here. But let's see. After the destruction, Mother Carmel and the House of Lambs, along with Linlin, leave Elbaf for another giant nation where they get another house, and they live there for a little bit. That was, of course, coming with that's where CP0 comes in. And that fateful day happened when everybody disappeared. Now, Mother Carmel did officially die. As what happens to the kids, as far as I know, it's never revealed exactly what happened to them. It's rumored they were actually sold to the Navy or the intelligence, but it's never stated exactly what happened to these kids. Yeah, it's never stated. Heck, even the manga, this is never brought up exactly what happened to these kids. I highly doubt Big Mom actually ate these kids. That would kind of stupid for her to do. They do add this episode after she eats this gigantic cake, which made the sweet she's been craving in that other country, and in Elbaf, after she eats it, where she's covered her eyes in tears because she's so tears of joy, and everybody just disappears. Yeah, this is also the origin of the famous tea parties that Big Mom has. And simply put, yeah, they, as for specifically had the Big Mom, not Big Mother Carmel, yeah, apparently she just disappeared, where she looked like she disintegrated, and all of stuff it was kind of like something out of the Bible. It's like she left her clothes behind, like she was suffering through a rapture. That's what kind of looked like what happened to her, because you don't see ash, you don't see a body, or it could be just Mother Carmel just took off her clothes at the. It looked like she just stripped herself butt naked and just pretend she died. It's never specifically stated exactly how she died. It's just that she died. Yeah. Oh yeah, and apparently while Linlin was eating the stuff, she apparently ate the table as well, because the table is basically shredded. But it's basically gone by the time she finishes. Yeah. Because she's gobbling the stuff in her mouth, and all the kids just disappear. Now, these kids were not hallucinations. They were later, but Yeah. And then, of course, the episode ends by briefly seeing Luffy, Pedro, Jinbei, Katakuri, and I think Oven. Very briefly, though, Luffy and Pedro are the only ones that have actual lines in present day aside from Big Mom. And they have like one line. Oh, and Benj is going to show up in the next episode. But yeah, that one's moment of the truth. I do know what's going to happen. And I'm not going to spoil it. But yeah, the stuff is it's going to get a lot worse in next episode. But as far as I can tell from next episode, they're going to wrap up the whole flashback stuff of Big Mom in the next episode. Even though this episode was definitely called The Origin of Big Mom. Excuse me, the birth of Mom, Day Marcom vanished. Yeah, this is not the origin of a pirate crew. That probably happens in the next episode of how she started her first pirate crew. Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen next episode. Alright? But, yeah, the next week's episode is the 838th episode of the series, and it's called The Launcher Blast, the moment of Big Mom assassination. Yeah, basically, in the case of this particular point in the manga, yeah, one of the subplots in the course of the series, one of the subplots was the assassination of the German 66 royal family. That was prevented. So they wrapped up that plot thread. But in the case of Sanjay reuniting with the crew, mostly put that at this particular point of the manga, especially in the anime, it kind of has happened, but as to going back to the ship, that hasn't happened for another like 30 chapters. Yeah, that's when that happens. But as for the new subplot of making new wedding cake, that happens in a couple chapters. And that takes like almost 20 chapters for this thing to be made. Because it takes a while to get this particular island, to get this cake made, and then finally get it done. Yeah, and here's the thing about this particular arc. Yeah, and so far at this point, only 2 days have passed by since the start of the arc. Yeah, only 2 days. Yeah, it's kind of like, bam, it's really quick. But I do know for a fact that Pedro himself does not survive this arc. This fun fact first showed up in the previous arc. He does not survive this arc at all. I won't reveal exactly what happens to him, but yeah, he doesn't survive. Though Carrot survives, she's still around. Yeah, though in the recent chapter that came out, the Straw Hat crew were absent. Yeah, I'm kind of like, could you at least have them briefly in the recent chapter? But nope, it just focuses on other people. Maybe next chapter we might get a chance to see the Straw Hat crew again. Maybe have a whole chapter dedicated to them while the review is going on. But who knows? I do know this for a fact. The whole cake arc of the manga is officially done. Yeah, it just wrapped up just like, I think it was just early this month, I think it was. Yeah, I think it might have actually was like last month it just wrapped up. Yeah, it wrapped up roughly 2 chapters back. So it was only just a couple weeks ago that the arc just wrapped up, and now focusing on a new arc, Revere. Yep. But this episode was actually pretty good, and adaptation wise, they did a really good job of keeping faithful to the source material. Now, these are the changes they made to it. Well, they added stuff to it. You see, well, of course, Hanjo running to him. Yeah. Carmel begging to spare Linlin. Everybody going to the jury's grave. Yeah, they added some small little things here and there. This sort of expanded upon stuff, which is nice. Little things. The only things they extended was the creation of Pandora and Lulin's birthday party. Yeah. Mostly it's like adding little things here and there, which is fine. And for mostly put, that's, at least they don't make any major changes to it like some series might do. I think the last time the series had a change to it from the manga was when they rescued Brooke from Big Mom. Because in the manga, Jinbei got scorched by Zeus. In the anime, he came out without a scratch. Yeah. But otherwise, though, that's really it for this particular review. Stay tuned next week for that 51st review for this particular series. And my next video I'm going to do is a comic corner, and you'll find out what I'm going to review in that video. Okay, but until I see you all there, bye.